Have you guys ever wondered why there is drops right underneath your bumper on your 2004 Toyota Celica? Well, chances are, if it looks kind of reddish, that's your power steering line is leaking, the front power steering line. So this car had that problem for probably the last 3-4 years, and they're going to address it now. So as far as the tools that I've used, here is pretty much everything I've used. I wouldn't say it's all of it is required, but let's adjust it. So some sort of drain pan. I'm using ramps, but you can use jack stands and a jack, whatever. Then lots of rags. I'm just using regular paper towels. Then we'll start from here. So just any type of just screwdriver, just kind of like a beton. Then I really like to use those, the little hose pliers. They help out a lot, because I mean, it's not unknown to break off a plastic fitting where the hose gets attached to if you do it by hand and put too much power in it. So then 45-degree pliers, the needle nose, I couldn't say it for some reason, 10mm socket, ratchet, the little, I don't know, this was, I believe, originally designed for battery service to suck in the acid, but I use it as pretty much suction pump for almost anything. Then my trusty DeWalt drill, which was 3/8 adapter. Sometimes I'll just throw the 10mm on. Then I use a bunch of engine degreaser, the little cup, and the funnel, and your choice of ATF, and if you want to put some stop lick, you could do that. I put most of the ATF and just maybe like, I don't know, 2 ounces of Lucas stop lick, just to make sure that all the worn out ring and pinions get really well in there. So that's pretty much it. That's all needed to do the job. So in our situation, it's actually transmission, not transmission, power steering fluid return line that's actually leaking, and it's kind of leaking from all of the pretty much rubber joints or whatever in there. So this is the one I just have picked up at the U-Pull it. It looks very dry actually, so should be okay. All the liquid you're seeing, that's from me pulling it off from power steering reservoir. But yeah, it's fairly simple to pull it off. I mean, in our case, all we need is just to get over here this plastic cover off, to get to the power steering reservoir, to disconnect 2 clamps, and then there is one more bolt, I believe, that's holding it down there, and that's how we'll pull it out. But remember, once you pull it out, you're gonna have some fluid leakage, so get one of the little drain pans ready. This vehicle particularly looks like it's been a front-end collision before, so instead of clips they just used Phillips bolts, so fairly easy to remove. Just gonna remove all of those, get this plastic piece off. Okay, try to do it while taping, might be a little bit difficult. One-handed here. I'm also going to remove the headlights for easier access for the lines. And here you can kind of see what's going on, see all this goo. That's all the leaks that coming from here from somewhere. Looks like it's been addressed kind of partially, but not there yet. See all the fluid on the bottom? Yeah, so it's pretty much the line. So getting out is fairly easy, so this clamp needs to be moved to get out, and then one of these clamps over here, and you can kind of pull them out. So now we're gonna get underneath the car and remove this little cover over here. It might get licked by my dog. So clip, screw, fairly simple. Let's see if I can get it with my fingers. clip out. Then I'm gonna get the screws out. Then we're gonna remove this 10mm bolt over here. See if I can take it while doing it somehow, some way. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do sideways with one hand holding camera, so let me take it off. Once the bolt is out, there's really not much holding this anymore over here. Don't worry about this, yours will probably look better than mine because this is a line for air compressor unit that somebody took off this car, so it's now no AC in this bad boy. It's okay, it's not too, doesn't get too hot around here. Yeah, look at this, all this nastiness. Oh, hey, it's leaking on me right now from here. So pretty much what we're gonna do, don't worry about cleaning any of this stuff off because you're gonna have a major cleanup to do as soon as you're gonna disconnect those hoses, which is what we're gonna do in a minute. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to prevent a spill by disconnecting this one first and put in a little like a solo cup underneath to drain some of the fluid. So because if I don't, it's just gonna go all over the frame everywhere and it's gonna be one big mess, and then it's gonna keep dripping for weeks from parts of the frame and you won't know if your leak is fixed or not. So that's kind of the first thing. The trickier part is going to be getting that one because I do want to replace it from the actual hose, which is a little bit farther down in there, a little bit farther over there. So this is kind of prevents leak a little bit. Just filling out the solo cup. Doesn't help that it's been topped off a little bit ago, so we have quite a bit of fluid in there. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull this bigger hose out of the way. There's a little lever that you pull up and then you can take it down, and then we're gonna move the hose out of the way so we can replace the bottom hose over here. Right underneath there. Gonna move the tank out of the way. There's a little metal tab over here that you just pry and you can pull it up. It releases it. That way it can actually drain a bit more. It's in there. Drain all of this stuff. Yeah, because I think I see some yellow fluid in there, so I think whoever been tapping it off before, which probably was my dad, he doesn't really know anything about cars, was putting the wrong fluid in it because it needs the ATF style fluid for the silicas. So what we're gonna do now we're gonna take off this little 10mm bolt. It's the bolt the last bolt that's holding the line in place. That bottom hose was kind of pain in the ass to do, but I would recommend long curved needle noses and hose puller pliers. Make the job a lot easier. Yeah, there's some massive drainage going over there. Once you get them out, you're gonna have to wiggle them out, disconnect any harnesses, anything you need to, so it's not in the way, so you don't yank it off. Then make sure, don't forget to reconnect it all back up. So when you pull it out, if it looks anything like this, it's kind of hard to tell over here. See how wet it is? And you have some leaks going on with it. Okay, so once you reattach all the hoses, make sure that you clean the area off that has all the leaks, just so you don't think that it's still leaking type of deal. So just have it all plugged in. Oh yeah, and one thing, do not attach the bolts up until you have everything plugged in. Just it's a lot easier to work with it. Then don't forget to clamp back this hose over here. Just put it, like, clamp it right back up over there so it doesn't dangle around. And then get those two 10mm bolts. Attach one from this into there and another one underneath. So now once you have everything cleaned up from top and from the bottom, make sure that you put everything back together, plug everything in like it should be. Don't forget to put bolts back in the bumper, unless you didn't take them out and yank the headlight without taking them out. but I usually have to take a couple of bolts out just so it's more maneuverable. So once you do that, put headlight back on, put the plastic cover back on, and put some power steering fluid, and then move around the steering wheel while the car's running for probably like 2-3 minutes, left to right, left to right, left to right. Make sure that you leave the crank cracked open, the cap cracked open, so all the bubbles come out. So as I mentioned, to burp the system you have to pretty much take the cap off, tap it back on, turn the car on, and then turn steering wheel left to right, left to right, left to right for 2-3 minutes. Be careful, I mean it will burp if there's some air. Like mine had a, I say, fountain about that big on the first turn, so I'm just kind of cleaning up all the ATF that I just put on there, just so it's kind of not dripping and not giving me false alarm. But there's tons that went back in there and try to get it off. So then once you're done burping, if the tank's still overflowing, use something like this to suck some of it out, because you don't want to have overflown tank, especially if you don't have any leaks. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now just assemble everything back on, put the plastics, and have a good day.